Hello, Brooklyn. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I would have waited for Bernard and Don to finish speaking, but we all would have been here for a day or two if I would have done that, so I had to interrupt them. Thank you, everybody, for coming. We're here to formally announce the March 9th, 2013 fight between legendary Bernard Hopkins and the IBF light heavyweight world champion Tavoris Cloud. The event is promoted by Golden Boy Promotions in association with Don King Productions, sponsored by Corona and AT&T. Tickets go on sale this Saturday, 10 a.m., starting very reasonably priced at $25 up to $200 for ringsides. They're available at barclayscenter.com, Ticketmaster, and right here at the box office. Like all great fights, this one will be televised live on HBO World Championship Boxing, beginning at 9:30 p.m. Eastern and Pacific time. Now to come up and say a few words, I'd like to call up our co-promoter, the one and only Mr. Don King.
Thank you. Lady, what was I supposed to say? Hello, Brooklyn? Yes, well, hello, Brooklyn. I am just delighted to be here in the new Barclays Center. It is indeed spiritually redeeming. It's a great edifice, but it's alive, and it makes me feel good to know that Jay-Z and Beyonce is part of the community unity that's part of the building, and that it's a family affair here at the Barclays Center, because you do what you do at home. You run out of food, and the crowd be there, but when you're hungry at home, you can eat what you want, when you want, how you want. I mean, and so it's been really tremendous here at the Barclays Center with the sellout crowds. And so we're looking forward to history in the making. And the history will be taking place on March the 9th when the inimitable and incomparable Bernard Hopkins will come to try to stop the hands of time and tell them to go backwards a little bit, but we're on the move and there's no stopping us now. And the young Minnie Tyson, who has to make history again in Brooklyn, as Mike Tyson did prior to, you know what I mean? So now we're making a visit back here in a new building, and it's going to be a great, exciting thing, and I wish everyone well. And as you know, Bernard is one of the great fighters of our time, but more importantly than that, he demonstrated the tenacity, the perseverance, you know what I mean, the never say die attitude that he was telling me just now, heralding me, saying he was different. It's self-evident that he's different. But at the same time, when the hands of time are moving, you know what I mean, the old moves on, the young comes on. And so it's going to be a great fight because he's stubborn and he's resistant. So it's going to be an irresistible force against an immovable object, and something has got to give, and give it will on March the 9th when you see the new face of glory, the excitement, the extolment of what the youth can do when you believe, have faith in God, and you stand tall and say, I'm ready, you know what I mean, and make that commitment to upward mobility and elevation, and do it with a design that is that's really just deeply embedded in the minds and the hearts of all those who come from behind and before and over and under, and that is Tavoris Cloud. You know what I mean? Humble, but ready. You know what I mean? So I'm really happy to be here in the Barclays Center, and I'm delighted that I had an opportunity to be an associate promoter with the Golden Boy, and I'm looking forward to a great evening of boxing on that day and history in the making. And I welcome you all. I want everyone to come, friend and for life, to be a part and parcel of this historic meeting in which we will give true edifice, true appreciation, true honest love when we let Bernard take the mantle from his shoulders, sit down, relax, and rest, and reach out and help those who are less fortunate than himself when we started. My alumni, Bernard Hopkins.
Thank you, Don. And again, some of you probably saw the media alerts that Oscar was supposed to be here, and the chief substitute, Oscar, came down with the flu and was unable to make the trip. So you're stuck with me. A few people I want to acknowledge who are not in attendance. Melvina Lathan, who's the chairwoman of the New York State Athletic Commission, who's been great to us and working on all of our shows here at Barclays. Daryl Peoples, president of the IBF, was instrumental in having this fight take place. Now, to come up and say a few words, I'd like to bring up the Vice President of Programming of Barclays Center to say a few words about the building and the event, Mr. Sean Seda.
Hello, Brooklyn. Come on. All right, thank you for coming today. Really appreciate it. On behalf of Bruce Ratner and Brett Yormark, we are thrilled to host our third night of championship boxing at Barclays Center on March 9th. Our first boxing event at Barclays Center on October 20th was an exciting evening of championship fights, and we are looking forward to our next event on February 9th card featuring Danny Garcia versus Brooklynite Jab Zuda for the Unified Super Lightweight World title. We are delighted to have a true boxing legend, Bernard Hopkins, fight at Barclays Center. I think it's ironic that boxing's oldest fighter is fighting at the world's newest venue. Bernard attended the October 20 boxing event here, and we're pleased that he wants to get in the ring to go for another championship. Bernard, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. We're also thrilled to have Tavoris Cloud as Bernard's opponent. Tavoris is a great champion, and Brooklyn is going to love his powerful style of fighting. Boxing is in the early stages at the Barclays Center, and there's so much potential to continue growing the sport in Brooklyn. We want up-and-coming Brooklyn boxers to aspire to fight at Barclays Center, and we want this arena to be their ultimate goal. Thank you to Oscar De La Hoya, Richard Schaefer, Bruce Binkow, David Iskowich, and their entire team at Golden Boy for helping us build an amazing boxing franchise here in Brooklyn. Their commitment and vision for boxing in Brooklyn has made this a special partnership. I want to thank HBO and its Senior Vice President of Programming, Carrie Davis, for their support of the March 9th event. I'd also like to recognize Melvina Lathan, the chairwoman of the New York State Athletic Commission, and IBF President Daryl Peoples for their support. We look forward to welcoming everyone to Barclays Center on March 9th. Our building has received great reviews for its customer service, the Brooklyn Taste Food Program, and the sightlines. Thank you very much for coming out today, and good luck to the fighters. Thank you.
Thanks, Sean. And anyone out there, if you weren't here on October 20th and you're not going to be here February 9th, you got to get here on March 9th. This is an unbelievable venue. You talk about state-of-the-art and a great staff, great customer service. And, you know, Sean, again, thank you to you and your staff for everything. You guys are all great to work with. Now to say a few words from HBO, I'd like to bring up their Senior Vice President of Programming, Mr. Kerry Davis.
Hello, Brooklyn. First, I want to say I wish you guys could be up here. There's some world-class trash talking going on up here between Don and Bernard. It's worthy of Brooklyn, I can tell you that. It's a real pleasure to be here to announce HBO's first World Championship boxing telecast from the Barclays Center. As a Bronx native myself, you know, I've always had a love-hate relationship with the borough of Brooklyn. But I must say, as a New Yorker, I'm proud of this spectacular, vibrant building, right, and the excitement that is brought to the New York landscape. I really am. It's really, as Don said, it's really a pleasure to have this new, exciting venue as part of the boxing business as well. It is equally satisfying to be here to announce two compelling matchups that will make this a night to remember for all boxing fans. We are proud to welcome ageless wonder Bernard Hopkins, first of all, happy birthday, back to our airways for the 20th time, as he sets out again to make history against light heavyweight champion Tavoris Cloud. Hopkins, a certain Hall of Famer, has been a mainstay at HBO for over a decade, and due to the magnitude and the importance and the historical significance of many of his fights, he is one of the highest rated fighters we have on our network. In fact, in 2011, his fight against Pascal was the highest rated fight of that year, And in 2012, his fight against Dawson was the second highest rated fight of 2012. So for us, it's a delight to have this, this boxing legend back on our airways. And in fact, most of his significant accomplishments have occurred on HBO, including his record-breaking 20th defense of the middleweight championship, his victory over Antonio Tarver to win the light heavyweight championship, and of course his victory over Jean Pascal to become the oldest man to win a championship in boxing. And on March 9th, he will seek to make history again against Tavoris Cloud. Tavoris is a worthy, exciting, relentless, young light heavyweight champion. And I must tell you, this is the kind of fight that I have to say that only a guy like Bernard can see. Because I look at this fight and I see this young guy and I see this guy who has all of these skills. I don't look at him as an easy mark for a guy who's 47 years old. But I know that Bernard and he will make a terrific fight in the ring, and I guess that somehow Bernard thinks he knows something that we don't know. But we'll certainly find out on March 9th. What? What you do? So I think the trash talk is going to continue until we get here. So this card will be part of a double coast telecast or bi-coastal telecast. We're going to have a heavyweight championship fight that night also on the telecast between Chris Arreola and another Don client, Ben Stavern. Okay, and that fight is a heavyweight title elimination bout. So our telecast will start at 9:30. We will also announce a third fight, which will be telecast from the Barclays Center that night. Let's look for that announcement shortly. Again, our telecast will be 9:30 Eastern and 9:30 Pacific. I want to thank the Hopkins team. I want to thank the Tavoris Cloud team for both making this fight happen. Fights like this only happen when the fighters make them happen. And of course, I want to thank Golden Boy and Don King for putting this terrific event together. So thank you again, and we look forward to a great night at Barclays.
Thank you, Kerry. Now come up and introduce Team Cloud. I'd like to bring up Don King once again. Don.
Those were quite eloquent words from Kerry Davis, the Senior Vice President of Marketing and Programming, and whatever it is at HBO that he does. Yes, but I'm putting it all together. But first I want to say something about this great building and these great Nets that you have. You have the Nets who now have won 6 in a row, trying for 7, which they will win tonight against the Toronto Raptors. So that's a prediction, you know what I mean? That's a promise, that's not a guess or a speculation or a prognostication. That's a fact. You know what I mean? The Nets are on the move, and they're stopping them now. They're a few games behind the mighty Knicks, and as you know, the Knicks has been the inimitable, incomparable building of New York. Is Madison Square Garden where history is made, and the new has came 2 to 4 in the Barclays Center. And I'm very, very proud because I love the Dolans, and Jim Dolan is, you know, he catches a lot of, you know, back and forth, you know, but he's doing his job, and the Knicks is moving. The Knicks are now in the lead. And so we're looking forward to the excitement that's going to happen. But the Barclays Center in Brooklyn is going to be highlighted tonight when they beat the Raptors and be 7 consecutive victories. You know what I mean? That's really wonderful. But that shows that's the youth that's coming on and a new team and being here, a new building. Everybody is playing and doing things. Time moves on. The moving hand writes and then moves on. And so I'm going to introduce to you Team Cloud, and as you know, it's been a lot of thunder, and weather that has happened here in New York, and then it was when the storm of Sandy came through here and devastated so many homes, and the people that been disheveled and the loss of lives. It's been a real tragedy to see our leaders and politicians hesitant to help those who have been destroyed, homes destroyed, lives hurt, and families and ones that are hurt. So we also want to give our condolences to those who have lost their lives, and our empathy and sympathy and commiseration with those who are homeless now, and urge our politicians, and especially the Republican Party, to give aid to this area in New York and New Jersey and the places that were hit and devastated by the storm Sandy. And so I want, when Tavoris wins this fight, you know what I mean, we also want to be able to, you know, to make some type of a way that we can do. But one thing that the people can do that they haven't really recognized and appreciated is those who will not vote to help those people, Americans, fellow Americans that have been victimized. It's a word called recall. You know what I mean? So you don't have to take what you're taking and take it lying down. It's a word called recall. And so when you take those no's that say we're not going to help, you know what I mean, put the name down, start your program of recall. And you know, maybe you may not change the vote for this time, but you can change the individual for the vote for the next time. And so just keep that in mind, because that was the infinite wisdom of the founding fathers. When you find somebody that takes and usurps and takes away the power of the people, and we are governed by the consent of the governed, then let us emulate that. Let us make it happen. And so we want help for these people that have been victimized by Sandy, and we want help for any Americans that have fallen anywhere. You know, when it's an act of God that comes down, and we should join each other to do that. That being said, you know what I mean, we got to act with reality just as we would do in not rhetoric, you know, but with an action. So we, Team Cloud and myself and Prince, we're going to work toward everything we can do to speak out, regardless of how it is, and to help out in any way that we can, shape, form, or fashion. By his name being Cloud, that means the clouds, and we call him the thunder. You know what I mean? I think we should put it in its proper position and project, you know what I mean, help and relief for those who are the fallen, those who have been victimized, and those who are now in need. And it's up to us as fellow Americans to make it happen. We're going to begin by helping Bernard, because Bernard is a great fighter. He's proven that beyond a doubt. And it's time for Bernard now to step into the shoes of someone who empathizes, sympathizes, and commiserates with those who are less fortunate. And what better example could it be than for him to be retired, restful, and use that stature of that Superman body that he used to have, and now is the Spider-Man, you know, to be able to help all those in the surrounding community. And to help him to do that, we have a young man here that we're going to bring up that's going to be able to do that. And this man is a champion of the world, and we do want to thank Daryl Peoples and the IBF for sanctioning this event. And we want everyone to realize and appreciate that we come not seeking to hurt anyone, we come to help Bernard. You know what I mean? We want to help him because, say, forgive him, Father, you know nothing. So I want Tavoris to come on up here, Tavoris. This is the champion of the world. Everything in this promotion, as you can see, is Bernard against the opponent. It's Bernard, he comes in first. We got to flip a coin and see who's gonna do the walk. It's Bernard, and Bernard earned that, justifiably so. But wherever we go, the champion would be able to say the title was this, that, and the other. So we are now humble. We recognize and appreciate the fact that Bernard is Bernard, but now we must readjust and put Bernard properly where he can be exceedingly proud, you know, not only of the record that he's achieved and accomplished, the type of dynamism that he's exemplified to the rest of the world, but to help himself, because we don't want nothing to happen to Bernard, because he's ours. He's ours. And I want to make certain that you retire nicely. And I'm going to give a good party. And the day is his birthday, too. what better fitting? Take him to Tavoris, you know what I mean? And do your thing, baby. You know what I mean? You have to fight him up because he's stubborn. So don't be gentle. Be firm. Yes, let me have him. This old glory makes you ever wave. Yeah. Tavoris Cloud, dog. Light heavyweight champion of the world, man. Still. Light heavyweight champion of the world.
Hello, Brooklyn. First of all, I want to thank God, HBO for putting on this fight. I want to thank my manager, James Prince, best manager in the world. Glad I connected with James Prince. Things starting to get a lot better for me. I want to thank my promoter, Don King. I want to thank Bernard Hopkins for basically calling me out for this fight. You know, it's kind of weird when a champion get called out, but hey, like you said, he's different. And you know, I'm willing to accept the challenge. You know, I don't duck, I don't run. Only thing I gotta do is call my name, I'll be right there. We want to say hello to Nasir. It's been a minute since I've seen you. I'm glad you're still doing well. You know what I'm saying? And March 9th, I'll be in great shape. And I'll be here to put on the fight of my life. You know, a lot of people asking me this, saying, with all the experience of Bernard Hopkins, all the tricks, you know, this and that, you know, how you gonna do it? Shit, I only got one. I'm gonna do it by throwing punches. You know, that's how every fight is won. You got to throw punches to win fights. So that's what I'm gonna be doing, and that's how I'm gonna win the fight. I'm gonna definitely win the fight by throwing punches. You know, and I want to thank the Barclays Center for having me here and putting on this event March 9th. And hey, the rest of it, hey, we gonna see. Thank you.
Thank you, champ. And as the champ just mentioned, his manager here is a guy from Texas. And you know, in Texas, you know what I mean, you know how that goes, you know what I mean, it's the Lone Star State. And so we say, remember the Alamo. We know that Santa Ana came, you know what I mean, 6,000 strong, but 13 glorious days by 180 some men. You know what I mean? You know, victory or death, that's what Colonel Travis said. And that's what this manager, he emulates and imitates. You know, so I'm gonna bring up to you the Texas kid. You know what I mean? It's right down out of Houston, that man who made Texas what Texas is today. Out of the great state of Texas, Sam Houston, you know what I mean? He's riding high, you know. He beat us at the Alamo, but we established those days of glory to give us an opportunity for him to get his army together, such as it was. But at San Jacinto, we took over and we captured the Santa Ana. And we got Texas to be a free state then, to be independent, to be able to roll in it. And this is what you got here. So a descendant of the Texas Fury, the Alamo and San Jacinto. Come on up here, Chris. The Texas kid, the manager of Tavoris Cloud, victory at Texas.
Oh boy. I'd like to thank God for this opportunity. HBO, Golden Boy, Don King Production, Team Hopkins, and of course, Team Cloud. We're very excited about this opportunity. And you know, out of all the fights that's coming here this year, this is the one you want to see. Because I know, I mean, what can you say? You know, Bernard Hopkins, he hold his own very well. In Cloud, we're gonna hold our own very well on March the 9th. And it's gonna be a war. Thank you.
Thank you. That is our team. We come humble but proud. You know what I mean? And so we're here in Brooklyn. That's what I like about it. And being here in Brooklyn, man, they don't know the half, you know what I mean? Because Bernard is from Pennsylvania. You know, he ain't no Brooklynite. You know, we all are Brooklynites. We all understand what time it is. You know, he's in foreign territory. I mean, I like him a lot, you know what I mean? In fact, I love him. But he's in foreign territory. This is Brooklyn, baby. No one can be proud if we cannot hear. We'll say it a little louder. Are you at home? Then we're going to put you out to rest and recite. Oh, yes. Last time I heard this one around the corner. Yes, well, you know, that's true. That's what I want him to work at. What he just said is the career that I now want him to work at. Yes, when he says if there's a project around the corner, that's home. That's what we want him to do. Not be here. You know, we want him to take care of those projects. Let's change them things and make things happen. I want to thank Golden Boy and his inimitable, what's the man that went over to Europe's name? Richard Schaefer, David. Man, where are they? What happened to Oscar? Oh man, I was going to get a rematch with him. He told me he wanted a rematch with Chief Joe. We ready to give it to us, especially So now let me turn it back over to Golden Boy because this is their last moment of glory. The Goldens will have, you know, how would they do with gold when the thing comes? What do you call it when it get tarnished or something like that? Yeah, you know, because gold, you know, you get all dull. You got to refine it now. Well, Golden Boy. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yes. That's why you're so smart. I want you to go out and help other people. But you can't. You know what? And you're smart enough to know. That's one thing about you. When you get knocked out, you know just how to do it. That's one thing about you. And you ain't nothing short about you. You know what to do, and you're going to retire in glory. Statue in esteem. It's all yours. Y'all got to be here. This history in the making. God bless you. And I love Brooklyn. I love Brooklyn. Take it, David.
Thank you, Don. Keep doubting him. He thrives off of it. You know that. Doubt him. Doubt away.
David, I won't hire you. I'll listen to you because you're a good man.
Thank you. I'll be right here.
Yeah, I'm looking for you too, David.
I'll be right.
This is Don King and Bernard show. I'm not fighting Don. I guarantee you one thing. Just like he ain't fall down and roll over 6 years ago when Golden Boy promotion was just starting off. He didn't roll over. He didn't get out the way. So I got to help him out. When his last horse breaks his leg, when a horse breaks his leg in his Kentucky Derby, he can't run. He's finished. They usually pick him out in blue, in kindergarten. Don Workers, Al Harper, anybody right here? Ever had pitch yard slipping for another job somewhere else because after March 9th, y'all gonna be looking maybe to work somewhere else. So you could be kind of nice to Golden Boy. Maybe I'll go ahead and vouch for you. So let y'all notice right now that after March 9th, there's already a short staff over there. I'm gonna make sure the last 7 leave too. Be a little thing.
Okay, on to Team Hopkins. I'd like to bring up now to say a few words. The guy that comes up with the game plans and gets Bernard in shape and ready to go for all of his fights. He's got the towel with him, I see, as always. The one and only Nazim Richardson.
Assalamu alaikum. Hello, Brooklyn. It's Brooklyn in the house. Without a doubt. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. There's not a lot to be said in behalf of Bernard Hopkins because anybody knows anything about boxing on this level knows Bernard Hopkins. This young man over here, Tavoris Cloud, you may not be familiar with it, but I'm familiar with it. Exciting fighter. Dedicated fighter, focused fighter, very dangerous. Don't look at stuff like you think about the Capillo fight. Don't look at that stuff. I don't even watch that tape. I mean, it doesn't even register. I know the kid was. I know what this kid is capable of doing, and I can see he wasn't up for the fight. So them kind of fights you can't even measure. He's going to be up to fight a legend. He's going to bring his A+ game to deal with the legendary Bernard Hopkins, and we expect that, and we're prepared for that. And this man has already done some things I've seen in camp that I've seen his focus and his dedication. He's willing to refocus and give everything he has to give for this endeavor. And I wouldn't tell him nothing less because I told him I'm familiar with this kid. This kid comes to fight, and he's talented. Now, for those of you, I was on tour before Bernard Hopkins and Don King for the Trinidad camp. I was on tour with these guys. Y'all just giving a small preview. Now, as Don just said, now I'm real confused. He's just yelled he was a Brooklyn night now. When I was on tour with him before, he was Puerto Rican. He was Puerto Rican when I was on tour with him before. Now he's back here. But you know, that's the magic of Don King, man. And like I say, he's one of the icons in our sport, man. We gotta respect that, you know. But in that ring, as legendary as Don is to this sport, in that ring, what you're seeing now is a master at an art form. And this is what Bernard Hopkins is. And we need to celebrate that and acknowledge it now. That you're seeing a master in his art form. You want to see this fight because our history has shown the more dangerous the opponent, the higher his game rises. If you check his history. The more dangerous the opponent, the higher his game rises. And Tavoris Cloud is an extremely dangerous opponent. If he didn't think so, I let him know I think so. So when you guys come to Brooklyn to see this fight, be prepared for an outstanding performance, easily candidate for Fight of the Year, easily candidate for the Fighter of the Year. With support, because you want to be able to say you saw it live when you saw Tavoris Cloud and Bernard Hopkins make history again. You want to be able to say you were there. So I thank you for your time and I thank you for your patience. See you then.
Well said, well said, well said.
Thank you, Nazim. As many people have said, it is Bernard's birthday today. He is 48 years old today. Kings Day in Kings County. Did you know that? We're in Kings County, Bernard. There you go. So no birthday would be complete without a little birthday cake. And from our friends at Junior's Restaurant on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn, we have a cake. If everyone would now join me in singing happy birthday to Bernard. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Bernard.
Please sit down, please. Sit down, please. Guys, sit down. Sit down. Sit down, guys. Sit down.
I ain't that old, but I can't blame them. Oh, I am.
What a great thing to become.
Susie, you better not get shot.
Don said I better enjoy myself now. I ain't gonna be able to do it.
Sit down in the hat. Sit down, guys.
I need a fork.
I need a spoon. Hey, Don need a spoon. He ain't that good. He ain't that
How precious can a man
I need a spoon and fork, please. Thank you.
How precious can a child This is a sweet moment. You get to see, and I'm going to reciprocate. And when you go out on the night, I'm going to talk to you, man. You're in the club. It's going to be a great accomplishment. And all those who are downtrodden. Yes. This is a moment.
All right, now to bring up a gentleman who it is my honor and pleasure to introduce. He's a future Hall of Famer. He's a living legend. He's a three-time and two-division world champion. He won the middleweight title in 1995, defended it 20 times, defeated the likes of Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, Antonio Tarver, Winky Wright, Kelly Pavlik, Roy Jones Jr. At 46 years old, he beat Father Time when he beat Jean Pascal in Montreal, Canada, Pascal's hometown, in May of 2011. Winning the WBC and Ring Magazine light heavyweight titles. And for those of you who didn't see that fight, he was fighting a guy who was, how old was Pascal? He was about 28 years old? 27, 28. And I think it was right before the 7th round, Pascal was taking a little while to get up off his stool in between rounds, so Bernard decided to drop down in the middle of the ring and start doing push-ups in between rounds So that's what we've got in this guy here. And on March 9th, he's going to look to break his own record and become the oldest fighter, again, ever to win a major world championship. He has a record of 52-6-2 with 32 KOs. He's a future first ballot Hall of Famer from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. My friend, Bernard the Executioner Hopkins.
Hello, Brooklyn. I just gotta save some energy, some swag. Yeah, hello, Brooklyn. Like rapping. So. First up, Jay Prince and I consider us good friends and respectful friends. He had a lot to do in this fight and helping this fight rather be done pretty quickly. I mean, yes, Don the promoter, but Jay looks out for his fighters and all the ones that I know from Andre Ward, all the way up to many fighters he helped over the years. So it wasn't surprising to me that I knew that this fight, once it was talked about amongst my team and myself, that it would be done in a quick, timely fashion. I want to point out a couple of things before I get to real quickly about March 9th that Don eloquently described how I should go out this way or what I should do. All the things he said was correct. He said help this entity, help that thing, help this or help that neighborhood. He understands poor. I don't know if he still remembers it, but he understands it like I understand it. But why can I do both? See, for most of my life, and even in my boxing career, which is my second life, since 1988 when I turned professional, I don't know what Cloud was doing, Thunder Cloud was doing, whether he's even born. I was told I should do this, I should do that. I can't do this, I can't do that. I should do it this way. Oh, you can never do this. You can never buck the system. You can never become your own man. You can never become a manager of your own self and you're a fighter. Well, me and George Foreman is the only one on record that won a Manager of the Year trophy in boxing history. Hopefully it'll be more. But I've always been told, even with all this, as Don King and Mo said, and good reason, you've done it all, you've done this, you've done that, but you always find someone that always will tell you until you die that you can't do something. It won't be a black president, it'll never be a black, they'll kill him first. Well, we have one. And so when I hear this, you can't, it gives me motivation. It gives me motivation. Now I know at some time in life things that's out of reach because it's not capable at this stage of the life. It's not capable of doing certain things. But this I've been doing half of my life. And I understand that when others think that they can write my destiny, the ones that follow me, whether you was on the side against me or whether you was with me on my team, doesn't matter. You watch me, you see me grow, you see me say things, you see me struggle, you see me overcome. Even the wrath of Don King, or the wrath of this person, the wrath of that person. When you see a guy that has a track record, that's proven more right than wrong, well over 80%, and that's high. You gotta sit back, even Thunder Cloud has to sit back and say, hey, listen, man, we gotta fight. But in reality, he's gonna be training just as hard, if not harder than he ever trained before. Because history showed if you come underestimating Bernard Hopkins, you can fall to the fate of others. Age is not an enemy to me. The clock is not something I try to stop, as Don or some would say. I'm not trying to stop. Well, how do you stop? The man can't even stop the clock. He can be an hour back, and it get daylight early, and it get dark early, and all that stuff, but it still goes forward, depending on wherever you live. So I'm not on this thing of trying to stop the clock. Y'all promoted how I live. Y'all promoted how I'm always in shape, how my weight right now. I get on the scale right now, and Cloud get on the scale right now, and he got me damn near doubled in weight class. So I don't have 3 camps before camp. One is, I gotta lose this weight. The second one is, I gotta prepare by watching or looking at film or whatever who I'm fighting. And then I gotta do the physical work. Well, that's, to me, that's wear and tear. And guys get through and get away with that because they're young and they can sort of camouflage and get by. But I know the history between when you fight a guy like Bernard Hopkins, if you ain't right now, 7 to 8 weeks out now, you in trouble. Because you got 3 weight camps to go through. And I'm on my 2nd one, right now. And so, I'm letting you know right now that the smart money goes to Bernard Hopkins. That's the smart money. The other money that goes somewhere else, that's your prerogative. That's great, fine, whatever. But if you betting because I'm 48 today, and that's the only reason you say that I can't because of the way you feel, and because of where your belt is on the last hole of your belt, because your button is popping at the top, and you 10, 15 younger than me, and then you look at me and say, how it's impossible for this 48. You're looking at the number. You're looking at the number, but you're not looking at the man. And when you look at the man, and you take all your bias, and all your envy, and all your jealous about how can I do it, and you feel the way you feel, you never bounce the basketball or threw a punch, and you start saying, it's impossible for what he's doing. So he can't, just by the number, then you're a fool. You're a fool to think that you can dictate what's going to happen to me through all that I've proven over the years to some that's going to be naysayers to my grave. Then you're not really making a decision based on what you actually think. You're looking at how you feel. You're looking at how you see other fighters. One of my not really new artists, but you didn't probably hear him 4 or 5 years ago. And he's not a personal friend. You know, and I like old school rap because most of it, I believe, have a message. All right, I ain't down with the poppin' crystal style and all that stuff. I'm old school. I like style. You know, the ghetto boys. You know, the mom playing tricks on me when I was in the streets running crazy, because I heard a lot of voices, and it was playing tricks. But then when you hear something that's man, that's my theme song going out. 2 Chainz, I'm different. Yeah, I'm different. And again, I'm just telling you that because that's the only thing I can say to y'all. Because y'all want to ask me when it's over with. Y'all gonna pull me on the side, and you'll have Cloud over there, and you will say, well, now, why? Or how? Or what do you do? And y'all been asking me that. It ain't getting boring to me, but I know it's getting boring to y'all. I can see some of y'all faces. I mean, you see me, okay, man, when you gonna pack it in? Because I'm not underestimating this man here. I understand that he knows that he beat Bernard Hopkins. He ain't beating Yusef Mack. He's not beating whoever else he fought. So he's beating a legacy. And so I understood when I was his age what I wanted to do. I won my title at 25 years old. Like I said to Don King an hour ago before I close it up, I said, Don, we have an alumni. We do. He calls us alumni. We have that. Yes, we do. He helped build my career. Maybe not as promoting Bernard Hopkins, because I was always a free, independent guy. And I battled to be that, in court, in the ring, and everywhere else. At the end of the day, everybody he threw at me. Everybody he threw at me helped secure my legacy in the middleweight division. Everybody he threw at me, I'm at least 15-0 with him. And I respect him. No, I'm not trying to listen. And I ain't even looking for a laugh. What I'm just trying to tell you is that he really helped me motivate me without even knowing it. He helped me motivate me all the way going to Segundo Mercado's hometown called Quito, Ecuador, 3 days before. Everybody else been there 2 weeks before. Got my ass up off the canvas and fought. And Don knew it was over because if the Maz wasn't there and we was in Landover, Maryland, 4 or 5 months later, he knew he didn't have a chance. He can't get him in his hometown, he can't get him here. And he was right. He knows me. Oh, he got to promote, he got to do his thing. But in Don's heart and his mind, he knows out of all the fighters from the 50s, 60s, or whatever he started promoting 50, 30, 40 years ago, he knows for a fact that when you're dealing with Bernard Hopkins, you can say what you want to say to get this good soundbite in, but when you're dealing with Bernard Hopkins-Cloud, you think you can do it. You have to do it. This man has actually proved me wrong than right. And so we're here. Not too long ago, well, was long ago, but not too far from here in Madison Square Garden. You can't live in the past, no, but you can be reminded about the past. Why? Because every now and then we gotta be reminded, good or bad, about the past. Sometimes it's for you, sometimes, ooh, it hurts. But I understand the past, and I've been on both sides. And I understand that I got a second chance in this career that went full circles more than one time in my life. I'm blessed than any football, basketball, hockey, golf, any basketball or athlete ever to be able to not only make history once, but 2, but 3, and I'm up to 4 and 5. How many athletes get a chance to do what Bernard Hopkins been doing, but I understand you're missing more when it's not there no more. And then everybody will sit back and say he fought the youngest, he fought the baddest, he fought the guys that he easily could have lost these fights and got beat up and this and that. Anything can happen when you step in that ring. But the only thing about this ring, than any other politics that happen, I'm in control. Physically, I'm in control in that ring to do what I have to do. It's between me and Cloud. It ain't between Don King, it ain't between Jay Prince and my team. It's between that they do the other work to protect us from things that interferes with what goes on in the ring. But far as that physical part of the ring, I understand this young guy's mentality. I'm not afraid of him. I ain't had to fight him. I could have fought anybody else. I wouldn't be motivated if I wasn't fighting Cloud. And I know that HBO would love that fight because they love that style. And I love that style. He ain't running. He's coming straight for, who gonna run from a 48-year-old man? He ain't running from me, he's coming to fight. And so I gotta dig in my bag of old Philadelphia fighters back in the day. I gotta study, I gotta get on my game, and I gotta take the young boy to old school and be the professor I am and let him know his ABCs. And when it's all said and done, there's 2 things that can happen before I close. And I got a track record that says that. And I'm not saying he's anybody I fought. And I'm not saying he's better either. I don't know yet. Afterwards, I can tell you. But one thing I have a track record on, and we have an HBO executive right here that can confirm that, is that the late 20s or early 20-year-old guys' careers haven't been the same ever since. And not only did I stopped making money for HBO for certain fighters, because if they can't promote the next new thing, they can't make money and the fighter can't make money. It's a double domino effect. It's called rolling down like dominoes. So I understand the economic threat that I am. They want to sit my ass down. Go ahead home, Papa. You done enough. You trying to convince me that I should be done because you said it? You sound like the warden that told me when I had 9 years to walk off of the street, saying that you can't come back, you coming back. You ain't gonna be nothing, you'll be back in 6 months. Okay, warden, that's what y'all sound like when the ones that says that to me. Y'all that warden out here, leaving out with that box in my hand, with all my belongings. You can't do this, you can't do that. All right, I'd rather be the underdog than be the favorite. I never was the favorite in anything in my life. But it's up to me, and it was up to me then, and it's up to me now to change within me some of y'all thinkings, because no matter what I do, the story becomes big if something happened to me that never happened to me in my 28-year career or even came close. So don't think that this guy sitting up here thinking that I'm the old man that y'all talking. Cloud ain't crazy and ain't stupid. And Jay Prince definitely got enough respect for me to know, like, yo, man, get those cupcakes out. See, I tried to offer the man cake, he wouldn't take it.
Piece of cake, piece of cake.
And he ain't listening to Don either. So at the end of the day, you come to this event, come to this arena. 90% of it wasn't promoting. This was just me letting y'all understand that I heard this before. This don't get old to me. I'm a fighter. This is what I do. I just happen to be a chameleon. I can do more than one thing. So when Don and people suggest I should go do this, it's kind of, it ain't boring to me because it's helping people. But I don't have to tell you I'm helping nobody. Don favored for giving out turkeys in November, and I know people in the hood, I still remember he don't, that eat turkey in June because they don't got no food. So I don't have to wait till it snow to pull up like Frank Lucas and have a trailer full of turkeys in a cold November. Hell, they ain't got stove to cook it, so what you gonna give them a turkey for? Give them a dinner that's already done. No doubt. So I don't come and tell you what I'm doing and I should sit down, I should do this, because I believe blessings comes in silence. I'd rather help and nobody know, and you find out and be like, he did that? He did the Joe Frazier statue in Philadelphia? He did this over here, he did that? Man, why he call us? I would have went out there and comforted him. No. It's not for the wrong reason, it's for the wrong reason. So I don't have to tell you what I'm doing. Why can't I be doing what I'm doing now on this podium in that ring, come March 9th here at the Barclays Center, and also in my other time do my other things? I'm not limited to just being a boxer. I've proven that to this man.
Yes, you have.
I'm the only one that got away. And Cloud will be glad to get away after March 9th. Because not only are you going to be upset that Don fed him to the Lions, Jay Prince is doing a business, boxing, and believing this guy way. But Don, I'm undefeated with you. And I think it's very important that Cloud understand that. Is that everything is riding on you, brother. Everything is his company. I mean, Dana haven't looked for a job in 30 years. Al Harper haven't looked for a job in 40 years he's been with Don. Don't you understand that you be pitting these guys on the employment line if you don't whoop my ass, beat me, knock me out? A lot of people lose, they count on you, man.
That's right.
Don King will have to pawn his jacket. That jacket is just as old as me. That's why I'm trying to tell you. Listen to what Don is saying.
Yes, we're going to take it.
Listen to as the day is alive. And Don King will make sure that you do your business. And that you do your business because, listen, his empire is on your shoulder. You're the last horse, brother. You're the last horse. There's no stable. Because he won't lay down to the new regime who comes, a good regime that comes in, it's called Golden Boy Promotion. So he want me to lay down because he said, I'm telling you right now, Don, enjoy your day, and that last one cheer you got sitting at Deerfield Beach. Because after March 9th, there will be a big celebration of your long-lasting promotional legacy that I must admit, you can't sneeze at, you can't underestimate, you can't disrespect, and you can't downplay. You did one of the unique, good or bad, jobs in boxing history. So you would remember no matter what. But at the end of the day, that's your last horse. And your last horse, your last horse, your last horse is gonna be ride. But the jockey that's riding that horse is just as bad. A horse ain't nothing. A horse is nothing without the jockey. The horse is nothing without the jockey. I'm gonna run it right into a wall. All right. So enjoy. It's been great, and I'm glad to retire. I'm glad to retire. I'm glad to retire. You need it, man. You done well.
I need the help. I need the help, Bernard. Oh, thank you, Bernard.
Enjoy your retirement. Sit on that piece, enjoy that wonderful home with the big statue of the Liberty, sitting in the sand. Remember that? You got to sit up there with the hand, with no glove on it, but it had the hand up there. So enjoy. After March 9th, it's been a long ride.
Yes, it has
50
been.
years, 60 years.
It has been. God bless you, my man.
Enjoy your retirement.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bernard. All right, everyone, thank you for coming. March 9th, Barclays Center. Tickets on sale this Saturday. If you can't be here, tune in on HBO. We're now going to pose the fighters for pictures with everybody.
Sit
Please,
down,
photographers,
please,
stay
everybody.
down so the TV cameras can get their shots. And we will pose the fighters now.
Guys, sit down, please, over there, please. Thank you. Please don't move it.
The best part is he tells everybody not to move, but he's knocked my camera like 3 times. It's great.
Wonderful. Now that part is true. Every now and then you come across something that has a lot of logic to it. A lot of reality. Really, you come across some real good stuff, man. I knew it. We read. Talk to me, man. Talk to me. There was slamming. You ain't never been there. You ain't never been there. Right.